What is going on, friends? Eddie here. I am going to be talking to you today about some ways to creatively use your time if you don't have a lot of time in the studio and you're wanting to be productive. I'm a husband. I'm a new dad. I work a regular job. Whenever I have any time when I'm in my home studio, you kind of have to use that time wisely, and there's just so many things that you want to do. So I'm going to go into a couple of these different methods and show you kind of the different things that I would do in kind of a shortened time frame. So let's get into it. Okay, so one thing that you can do is go through samples. I know for me, I like to use samples for creating other music. So flipping samples or using samples to make different sounds. I know with a lot of producers, you have a lot of sounds at your disposal. So, and especially for, producers that don't have a lot of time on their hands, you have to be able to kind of sample through your samples. So one thing I like to do is just go into this is Logic Pro, by the way. And so I'm not just going here. Let's do sound effects because, you can always change sound effects into anything you want to. But if we just listen through some of these. Okay. Side note, I'm listening for things I can turn into something rhythmic, or I can alter some of the timing of it to make it into a loop, or I want to find something that I could change into, say, a keyboard. So this particular sound right here would be really good for something percussive. Got some cool elements there. Another good thing that kind of listening to your samples helps you do is kind of get you familiar with what you have available, because sometimes you'll have like hundreds of samples and not know what you have. So this is always a good thing to kind of go through and see what you have available. So another thing for at-home producers not having a lot of time and you're trying to squeeze this in, templates are going to save you so much time. Anytime I open a blank template, I'm having to change so many things, even something as simple as having some effects just ready to go. You're always going to use reverbs. You're always going to throw a little bit of delay, at least for me anyway. So I make sure that those things are on my projects, and that just saves a bunch of time right there. You can also work on some plugins, work on learning your plugins, also work on figuring out what settings you like on certain plugins and making sure that you save them. That's the important part. I have this drum loop from Apple Loops, and this is just what it sounds like dry. So it sounds like it has some effects on it. Now what I can do here, I have a Chromaverb, which is Logic's reverb, and a couple of things that you can do in this situation. One, you can take some of these presets that are here and try those out, save them as your favorites, make your adjustments to them. One thing about presets is that you don't want to just take a preset, like make it work for what you need it to work for. So whether it be a song, whether it be your own preference, don't just take presets. Presets are not bad. I'm going on the record to say presets are not bad, but in order to make them your own and make them unique, make the adjustments too. So once I got that to a point that I liked, make sure I saved it, and then now I can pull it up whenever I want to come back to it, and I'm not taking time, precious time to do it while I'm in the middle of a project. Another thing that we can do is new plugins that we haven't tried out yet. So I have this from Native Instruments, ROM. I don't know how you say that. But anyway, I'm not in here making a song. I'm just trying to learn how to work this plugin. So I can come in here now and... All right, that is a decay. Change the size. this is a perfect time for you to learn your plugins like I just did. So this tip, you don't even need to be in your home studio. You can pull this up on your phone, look at your manuals. If you have a question that, you've tried to figure something out, and every time that you've come on your DAW, it's something you always had a problem with, go to your added note, go to your forums, look up, someone else has probably had this problem and has probably found a solution. Watch a YouTube video, and here's the important part. When you watch it, take notes on the things that you're learning and the things you're growing on. Another important point is go do that thing. Sometimes we get caught up in the cycle of just watching all these videos and not doing anything with the information. Get the information, apply the information. One of the best ways we can step our game up is to listen to someone who's way beyond where we are. Take a song that really inspires me or something that I'm trying to get to sonically and listen through it. And I'm not talking about just, listen through and like, oh, that felt good. Small chunks, like listen through the intro or the intro and the first verse and then just break that thing down. Learn about the arrangement, learn about, instrumentation. Just in that little bit of time, you'll grow as a music producer and increase your skill just by listening to someone else and really analyzing it. If you play an instrument, make sure you're taking some time to practice. If you work on MPC or you work on Native Instruments machine, there's always something instrumentally you can practice. When you have the time to get into the studio, you're not taking time to work out basic technique of playing your instrument. You want to be able to get in the studio, get the sound out, get the melody out, get the chord out, and move forward. Make sure you practice. All right, good people. I hope you learned something, and I hope it's inspired you to know that you don't need, hours in the studio every single time to be productive. Take those little moments and make the most of them. And that way, when you do have the time, you're able to create that next big hit. We'll see you next time. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we'll see you again next week. All right.